Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick. We continue with the August 2026 LEGO Technic sets, and after I asked you which one should be next, I have to admit I was a little surprised. The set that came up the most in the comments was the 42236 Custom Garage Ford Mustang GT. And yes, this is definitely a new member of the car transporter gang. It has the same scale and look, but this time there is a twist, and you can already spot it on the front of the box because the car is surrounded by a suspiciously large pile of extra pieces. On the back, we can see the upgraded version of the car, the usual functions, and a visual explanation showing which assemblies can be swapped. So this is not just a regular Technic car, the whole idea is that you can customize it. As I already mentioned in the preview, I still find the custom garage name and badge a bit confusing. Ford actually is a program called Ford Custom Garage, but at least currently they don't seem to offer upgrades for the Ford Mustang GT through it, so the branding feels a bit odd to me. Anyway, let's see what we get in the box. The set has 973 pieces and the price is €90 or $100. That is significantly higher than the usual price range of Technic cars at this scale. Of course, we do get more parts here as well. Inside the box there are 7 numbered bags, 1 unnumbered bag, the manual, and what might be the highest sticker count I have ever seen in a Technic set of this size and piece count. No doubt about that. The manual does not really give us more background information about the concept, so after the part list we can start building. We begin with some magenta Technic beams and a camshaft for the tiny V8 engine. The engine is functional, and here we already meet the first new part, the 3.5 module long axle with stop in dark blue. From a color strategy perspective, this is an interesting choice because it will definitely stand out from the crowd. This part is used in a pretty unique front axle setup, and these very new short steering arms play an important role in the construction. We also get the dark purple pin with pinhole. This part was recolored recently for a Toy Story set, but I'm glad to see it appear here as well. I'm still waiting for a proper dark purple Technic car one day, just saying. The steering is integrated quite nicely, and by the end of bag 1 the build already feels surprisingly dense. There is one small detail I'm not exactly sure about. We get a printed can top tile next to the hand of God steering column. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas about it. Then we move to the rear differential, and the coral connectors strike again. I've now seen these in 3 different car transporter gang builds, so I'm starting to wonder if this is some sort of designer Easter egg. There is a nice 3D puzzle moment here as well. The assembly with the large Technic frame goes on, then it gets secured from the other side. After that we add the seats and the non-functional steering wheel. This section also includes a good amount of system parts and of course more stickers. Dark blue still tends to hide the details in the manual, and the dark stickers don't really help with visibility either. I also noticed a small error here. One view already shows the headlights installed, but those only appear in the next step. And here they are, brick-built headlights. Then we switch to the roof section and quickly add the A-pillars. These links now also come in dark blue. At this point I also have to mention something unique. This Technic set might have the highest red half pin to overall piece count ratio ever. There are 73 red half pins in a 973 piece set. I'm not sure if this is an official record, but it certainly feels like one. Mudguard pieces are usually not stickered because of their complex shape, but here we have to apply 2 small stickers to them. I'm not a big fan of this, because the top ones are almost impossible to align perfectly. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a member of the Sticker Haters Association. Stickers definitely have their place in LEGO sets, but with this many stickers on the hood, and with the pattern continuing across several pieces, aligning everything even remotely properly becomes a real challenge. And then comes the plot twist, we immediately build a second hood with another round of the same positioning exercise. Right after that we can choose between 2 front splitters. I will start with the more modest version for now. Next we build 2 pairs of doors. Structurally they are identical, but the stickers are different. The rear wheel arches also get wider yellow versions, so the alternate bodywork slowly starts to appear. There is a funny little variation here as well. One version is basically only 2 tiles, while the other is a more complex built-up assembly. I will put the simple one on the car first. The roof side panels also have sticker differences. Unlike the front lights, unfortunately the rear ones are stickered. This whole rear assembly uses a unique angled connection method. The 2 rear bumper variations are also more different than I expected. This is how the assembly is attached. The final bag gives us the optional shopping cart handlebar, the removable hand of God steering knob, and the dark pink rims with the tires. The rims are obviously new in this color, and they certainly make a statement. Then the final stickered pieces are these wheel covers. They get stickers on both sides, and of course we will need to rotate them depending on the configuration. And with that, the first version is finished, so here is our Ford Mustang GT. I guess this is the version I should compare to a real Mustang, because the other one is basically the ultimate boy racer edition. And yes, the model does have some Mustang characteristics, but I have to be honest, I really wish this was just a generic sports car. I appreciate the brick-built front lights, but for me the front shaping is not quite there. I also understand what the designer wanted to achieve with this slanted rear end, but this angle is only one part of the distinctive Mustang look. If we compare it, the Speed Champions version did it much better, and the rest of the design does not really sell the Mustang identity to me. So let's pretend for a moment that this isn't a Mustang, because if we do that, the set becomes a lot easier to appreciate. The building experience was actually pretty cool. There are many clever details, several interesting solutions, and if we stop comparing every angle to the real car, there are only a few things that bothered me. One of them is this front assembly, which is not fixed as securely as I would like. I also wish these pieces at the rear were attached a bit more firmly, because you naturally tend to grab the car by the roof and these will move. But honestly, that's pretty much it in terms of major structural complaints. The opening hood works well, the tiny V8 engine runs nicely, and we can even check the differential in action. The doors are sturdy and open properly, and as a playset, the car totally works. And I haven't even talked about the fact that we basically have half an extra car body beside the default version. You can mix and match the different panels, swap the hood, doors, rear wheel arches, bumpers, splitters, roof panels and wheel covers. The rear fenders of the upgraded version are actually wider, so the wheels need to be attached differently as well. And here is the fully upgraded version. It is wild. Whether that is a good thing or a bad thing probably depends on your taste. It is not subtle, that's for sure. But the fun part is that you don't have to use one fixed version or the other, you can play with the parts and create your own combination. The concept reminds me a little bit of those city sets with swappable front and rear sections, but here the execution is obviously more detailed and there are more possible combinations. And I really like this approach. Technic sets used to have B models and those are pretty much gone now, so seeing at least some encouragement for customization is a welcome change. This is not a full alternate model of course, but it gives you a reason to rebuild, modify and experiment with the car instead of just building it once and putting it on a shelf. So the short version is this: I like the concept, but I don't really like the branding. And now we need to talk about the price. Recent members of the car transporter gang were usually around 65 euros or dollars. The Ford GT40 was 75, probably because of the 18 plus badge. This Mustang is again a kit set, but the price is 90 euros or $100. Yes, it has more pieces than average, but not dramatically more. For example, it only has slightly more parts than the Ford Bronco, so the piece count alone does not justify that difference. It does include many large panels, and you definitely get more plastic for your money than with a regular car at this scale, but I still think the price difference, especially in the US, is higher than it should be. At $75 or $80 RRP, I would say this is fine, although I would still suggest waiting for a retailer discount. In Europe, pre-orders already go as low as around 68 euros, which sounds a lot better. But even there, it is still noticeably more expensive than the new Ferrari, for example, so the difference does not disappear completely. One thing is certain, this takes much longer to build than a regular car at this scale. But not only because of the extra pieces, a lot of that extra time comes from the stickers. And this is something you really need to consider. I think stickers are perfectly fine in LEGO playsets, especially when they add decoration or details that would be impossible to create otherwise. But here the amount is above the level I personally enjoy. If you don't like applying stickers, this set will test your patience. So, where does that leave us? The concept is good. The building experience is better than I expected. There are some genuinely nice techniques, and the customization idea works well as a play feature. But the Mustang branding is not very convincing to me, the price is too high, and the sticker count is really pushing it, so this is a very mixed set. As a licensed Ford Mustang GT, I'm not fully sold. As a generic customizable Technic sports car, I actually like it a lot more. And that's probably the most frustrating part, because with a different branding and a slightly lower price, this could have been an easy recommendation. So, what do you think about it? Do you like the customization idea? Do you think it looks enough like a Mustang? And how do you feel about the price and all those stickers? Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.